You have to really watch your inner child when you're at a farmer's market.
And to be kind to me.
I am raising future citizens of the United States of America. What do you do?
Well, we are blood sisters, and we really were slobs. And on June 16, 1977, we hit bottom. And I said I didn't want to live that way anymore, and she didn't want to either.
And we each had 3 kids, and
I had 3 kids in 3 years.
that tells you how disorganized she was. Disorganized people have more babies than organized people.
And my older sister here told me, you can't get pregnant if you're nursing. I nursed for about 84 months. But on June 16th,
the other part, if you can picture, our houses are caves. We each have the 3 kids. They range in age from 16 months to 12 years
old.
Yeah, and we were just totally buried. My husband was we fought every day over the mess, and then our self-esteem was way down, and because we wanted to be wonderful homemakers, that we chose to be full-time homemakers.
I wanted Danny, that's my husband, I wanted him to come home after work and say, oh, look at this place.
He'd say that, but not quite in that tone of voice.
We didn't fight over it, but he'd say to me, are you at all thinking about groceries? Because, we're out of everything. And on the 16th, the fall started to happen on the 15th. We had gone to the zoo, took all 6 kids, and we were only going to be over there for about 20 minutes. We were going to look at the baby elephant that they were going to let out and for the first viewing, and then we were going to come back. She was going to help me get groceries. It sounded like perfect. When we got home, we were over there all day. When we got back, there was a sheriff's car in my driveway, and I had a break-in, and this sheriff came up to the car. He said, which one of you lives here? And I said, I do. And our hearts were pounding. I said, why? And he said, well, you had a break-in, your neighbor called, we got here as fast as we could, but he said, I've been in there and they have ransacked the place. It was exactly the way I left it.
So, you think about our lives back then.
And we majored in home economics.
They don't teach the real world of home management in home ec.
Well, they can't.
If they did, nobody'd ever get married. And we learned things like, we made an entire dress out of muslin and then made the real dress. In real life, if you made a dress out of muslin, you would wear it. You're not going to make another one the same.
And then, too, we had this beautiful example of a mother. Our house on the inside was like a magazine, just perfect. And
Mom
she
was
had
born
meals
organized.
on time. Yeah, we think this is genetic. And we got the sidetrack gene from our dad. We said today that we would, when it snowed, Dad would leave everything out from the summertime, so the tiller and the lawnmower and the chaise lounges, the bird bath, the hose. And then when it snowed, we'd play Name That Lump. It was our game. But Mom set this wonderful example, and it looked effortless. We'd come home from school, and she'd have dinner started. You could smell dinner.
Fresh cut flowers on the table. And every evening she would say, just about 15 minutes before Dad would come home, he drove an oil truck, and just before he'd come home, she'd say, oh, girls, it's 5:15. Your dad will be home in 15 minutes. I'm going to go freshen up. Oh.
And you know what? She'd go in there, and then she'd come out fresh. But we figured, here we are. Here we are old now, and we were guests of a producer in Hollywood. She picked us up from the airport and took us to her house.
We were going to stay all night. And
she doesn't have any children, and so she's got this gorgeous house in the Hollywood Hills. And
in her living room,
that garage door up, In that garage,
it was finished in there,
wallpapered.
And she had, tennis rackets and
The bike was up on a pegboard thing.
all the special hangers for special things. It looked like a sporting goods store in there. And then we went through her garage and into the kitchen, and everything was white in there. White counters, white cupboards, white floors. She had white dishes and just stark white. And then we went into the living room. She had a white leather couch and white
Splashes of color,
but
basically white. White works. She didn't have kids.
Yeah,
Then she said, let me show you to the guest room.
we love that too.
That's another one, because it wasn't like a junk sewing room with a rollaway in it.
And she said, would you
Would you like to freshen up? And you're not going to say, I don't want to.
And so we both said,
Yes.
yes, thank you.
So she left,
she
went out
shut
of the
the
room, and
door.
we went, what do you And here we almost called Mom to say, what do you do?
It's nothing you don't. Nobody. Have you ever talked about it? Have you ever asked your girlfriend, what do you do when you freshen
do
up?
in
You don't
there?
know.
And in the movies,
Well, they
somebody will go freshen up.
they shut the door and you don't get to see what they freshen. It's never
It's
told.
not addressed.
So we know now, though. We figured it out.
Mom, okay, back to Mom. She took 10 or 15 minutes.
So we thought, well,
You're
right.
not going to get a shower, wreck up your hair. That
No.
would be 45
So
easily.
we put some new deodorant on over the old. That was good. And then
we said, let's wash our hands really good. We each had our own sink.
yeah, so we got in the water and got our hands.
Just a hair late.
Washing your hands, we think, is an integral part of freshening up.
Because you get in that warm water.
And it makes you breathe. You take a big, deep breath and let it out as you get your hands warm.
You have to go to the bathroom, but then that's part of
Right.
freshening. Get back in the water. We did like a little mini massage.
Except that when we looked at those little soaps, we couldn't wreck them. I mean, they're like
They're
$5.
$4 a clam.
So we found a Baradile or Ivory or something in the shower.
Real soap.
And we were thrilled with that, and we lathered up.
Suds all up.
And then we
Get in those cracks.
just did. And then and that was, 7 minutes. That's a long time. We were trying to make it go 7 minutes. And then we rinsed off, and we both looked at those fingertip towels,
Picturing her ironing them,
and we couldn't wreck them, so we wiped on the rug.
Adore who you are. Adore where you are. Adore who you're with.